again.
So as you know, if you were to sell over 158 million games consoles, you're quite likely to get pretty good at making a controller or two. And of course, I am referring to the one and only Sony PlayStation. And in recent years, you might have noticed, but Sony have set their sights on the PC gaming market. Anyway, many thanks to Sony PlayStation for sponsoring this video, and they want me to show you guys some new PC gaming software that they've been working on. And this software takes Sony's most pro gaming console controller and transforms it into maybe the best PC gaming controller to date. And something that makes Sony's PlayStation DualSense Edge truly special is the fact that it's likely to be a controller that you only will need to buy once. And that's definitely something you can't say for all of the other pro gaming controllers out there today. And you will see why I say that if you stick around. So first, for those not so familiar with the Sony PlayStation DualSense Edge controller, let's run through my personal top 5 favorite features and design aspects, and then we'll get into the next level PC gaming upgrades that PlayStation have just introduced. So number 1, of course, no pro gaming controller is complete without back buttons, and you get that with the DualSense Edge. But not only do you get these nice solid detachable metal paddles, you also get the option to use shorter metal levers instead. I actually like to use a combination of both, with the paddle on the left side and the little button on the right side. And there's a little trick you can use so that you can actually hot swap what these buttons do mid-game within the new software, which could truly be a game changer if you set it up right. Number 2, something I know a lot of gamers will appreciate about the DualSense Edge is the interchangeable thumbstick caps. You do get the classic PS5 thumbsticks pre-attached, but you also get the more retro style short rounded textured cap as an option, as well as a taller stick option that can allow you to make faster actions with smaller movements. And in the new PC software, you can expand on that even more, and you'll see that in action in a minute. So you will know, if you are a pro gamer, sometimes the difference between life and death, first and second place, comes down to the millisecond. And the DualSense Edge can help you with those milliseconds thanks to the adjustable switch on the back of the triggers to change the range of travel. So you can set it to short, which is kind of like having a dead shot trigger, and it will give you that instant trigger action. Or you can set it to the middle setting, or you can set it to the long setting, which gives you a longer trigger pull, which can give you much more granular control of acceleration in racing games, for example. But once again, you can take this to the next level within the brand new PlayStation software. And a little side note here, the triggers do have adaptive feedback, so they have dedicated haptics just for the triggers, and the DualSense Edge has separate vibration motors for the grips, and the strength of the vibrations can also be modified within the software. Number 4, now something that's pretty much inevitable with any gaming controller you do decide to use. If you are a pro gamer and you're putting lots of hours in, one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe soon, you will encounter the dreaded stick drift. And quite often, if the stick drift is really bad, a lot of people won't even bother trying to fix the pad. Instead, they'll just buy a very costly new controller. Well, this is the very reason why I said this might be the pad you only have to buy once, because the DualSense Edge has a quick release system for the individual stick modules. This does mean you can just quickly replace them whenever you start to encounter a bit of stick drift. But what's great about this pad and the new software for the pad is if you encounter a little bit of stick drift, there's a very easy and free way to fix the problem, which we will come to shortly. Number 5, so the DualSense Edge, in my opinion, is the complete package, but there's also a deal sweetener here, and it is the hard shell carry case. It's got a flap on the back that opens up and allows you to charge the controller whilst it's still in the case. Sony also provides you with a premium branded and pretty long braided cable, and a cable locking clip, so when you're locked into your gaming session, so is your pad, and it will reduce the chances of any inconvenient disconnects. Okay, those were my top 5 features. Now let's get into the new killer PC gaming software from Sony PlayStation. The app itself is called the PlayStation Accessories app, and there will be an official link in the description below this video if you want to check it out. So let's start with the sensitivity curves, and here you can get really creative with how the control sticks work. Let's say, for example, you want to get really good at 360 no scoping people. What you could do is go in and set your aim stick to the quick preset, and because the quick setting is going to be more sensitive, you could adjust the dead zone if you do encounter a little bit of stick drift. You can also use the dead zone adjustments to desensitize your aim a little bit. And if you want to, you can actually tweak the presets and actually amplify or desensitize the effects of that particular curve. But what might be the real game changer here is you can dial in specific sensitivities for each stick individually. And if you combine your tailored settings for specific weapons within a game with the next tip I'm going to show you guys with the software, yeah, you're definitely going to have an edge. So once you've set up your custom presets within the PlayStation accessory software, it's then linked to the shortcut button combined with one of the face buttons. And the reality is these custom preset shortcuts are intended for specific game types. So let's say you set one up for a racing game, one for a shooting game, one for a single player story game. But let's say you're the type of gamer who only ever plays one game. What you could do is dial in different custom presets for different types of weapons or gameplay styles that you like to use within that one game and hot swap between those even mid-game using the shortcut combo buttons. And something that's important to remember about these presets and the shortcuts is they do carry over from PC to PS5 because they are stored locally on the DualSense Edge. You gotta admit, that feature is nice. So with the DualSense Edge, you do get the back buttons that can give you even more of an edge. And the great thing about the PlayStation Accessories app is all of the buttons are remappable and can be saved to your specific presets. And just like the sensitivity curves, these keybinds are stored on the pad, which means you can hot swap at any time, no matter if you're playing on PC or PS5, and they will stay the same regardless of the game you're playing. So I don't know about you personally, but when I play single player, more cinematic story games, I actually really appreciate the haptics on the controller. It adds another dimension to the gameplay, and with the PlayStation app, you can actually amp up or dial down the vibration intensity, but not just for the haptics in the grips. You can also adjust the haptics in the triggers. And I do realize a lot of pro players will want to switch this off when playing competitively, but the great thing about the DualSense Edge, just like Neo adequately said in The Matrix, the problem is choice. But that is certainly a good problem to have because other controllers might not give you so much choice. All right, so those are the main features on the new PlayStation Accessories app. But I have saved a few bonus features that I think you PC gamers might appreciate knowing about, because I'm assuming if you've made it this far into the video, you're probably seriously considering upgrading to a DualSense Edge. So check this out. There is an audio jack in the DualSense Edge controller itself. So if you want to, you can go into your PC sound settings and set the audio to pass through the controller. So if you have some really nice studio monitor wired headphones or something like that, you can wire them directly into the controller itself. Not only will you get minimal compression on the audio signal, but you'll also get minimal latency. Also, PS5 players will be familiar with the built-in mic on the DualSense. This microphone can also be used on PC. So if you are using a wired pair of headphones and there is no mic built in, you can use the mic on the pad. To get this to work, you just need to go into your Windows sound settings and change the input to the DualSense mic. And lastly, you probably already knew this, but the DualSense Edge has a trackpad built in. To get this to work, you just need to jump into Steam settings, go to the controller tab and change the general controller setting to DualSense. And with that set up within games like Helldivers 2, you can open up your mini map and actually explore the map with touch controls. And if you really want to, within the PlayStation Accessories app, you can actually set the trackpad to act as a standard button. So I'm sure you can think of some innovative ways to actually make use of that. So the Sony DualSense Edge, is it the greatest PC gaming controller ever? I personally think it might be, but more importantly, what do you think? And once again, a massive shout out to Sony PlayStation for sponsoring this video. They're helping me keep the lights on here in the studio. And if you guys want to check out the Sony PlayStation Accessories app or the DualSense Edge controller price, there will be links below the video and in the top pinned comment. And if you do decide to get one, you will be giving yourself some leverage, a fulcrum to win more games. And like a wise man once said, give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world. And in this case, we're talking about the world of gaming. So I appreciate you guys for watching this one. If you got any value out of it, smash that like button. If you just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man, and I will see you in the next one. Don't be late.